Hello and welcome to Connected, episode 460. It's made possible by our sponsors, Vitally, Squarespace, and Factor. My name is Stephen Hackett, and I'm joined by Mr. Mike Hurley.
Hello, my name is Mike Hurley, and I'm joined by Mr. Federico Vitici.
Hello, it's me. Hi.
Hey, buddy.
Hi.
How is everybody?
Tired because it's way too hot.
Oh, what are you dealing with over there?
Typically around 40 degrees Celsius.
Oh.
And it's been like
That's
this
too
for
hot.
It's been like this for 2
It's
weeks.
104.
I will
Yeah.
agree, Federico, that is too hot.
I'm very
Are
low
you
energy during the day. Yeah.
Are you having, is this abnormal for this time of year? Or what?
yes, it is slightly.
Oh, storms and wildfires again. Oh, no.
Yeah, so
That's what Google tells
in
me.
Italy, there's this problem right now of this crazy storms, like almost hurricane level storms in northern Italy. It's been causing all kinds of destruction up north, even in Milan a couple of nights ago, and wildfires in southern Italy, which is also very bad. And here in central Italy, where I am in Rome, it's just hot. And now, thankfully, the fancy AC system that I have now makes it very nice to spend time at home. But as soon as you go outside, and I mean, I need to go outside, to do stuff, it's just exhausting after a while. But I don't want to complain too much, and I gotta say this on the show. I don't want to complain too much because as much as it is hot and I'm kind of low energy, I'd still take this over the winter season anytime. At least it's not raining, it's not cold. I can't stand people who are like, oh man, I love when it rains. No, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Nobody loves the rain.
Do people love when it rains?
Yes, some people say that, and they're liars, and they're wrong.
I think I would take that over the 40 degrees because I wouldn't like that, but it's not because I love the rain. I just don't want the 40 degrees.
Yeah. No,
But I wouldn't say I love when it's cold and raining. I don't feel that way.
Let's start with some follow-up. I went back to Dropbox. I'm sorry I ever tried leaving
Who are you apologizing to?
Dropbox.
And also,
Do
wait,
you think they're listening?
Maybe.
I don't remember you leaving. I know we had that conversation, but I felt like the conversation was very resounded in no, I'm going to stick with Dropbox.
I feel like this all happened in your head, or you did it and you didn't tell us.
No, I had taken everything off of or a lot of things off of Dropbox
Right.
and put them in documents.
Oh, because it wasn't
and now they're-
syncing. Right, yeah.
Because it had freaked out,
yeah.
but now it's all back in Dropbox. It took 4 days to sync. So I'm also apologizing to Comcast, I guess, but life is good again.
Oh, just like Jeeps.
Wait, what?
Life is good. That's what it says in the back of the Jeep, right?
Oh, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my wife has an unrational hatred of that brand.
I do know that.
You think
Yep,
it's
I do know that.
it's very funny.
This is very interesting. So she hates the brand Jeep.
No, not Jeep. No, there's a brand called Life is Good,
Which is a terrible brand name.
which is terrible. And people who drive Jeeps
Yeah.
often have Life is Good paraphernalia on their Jeeps.
Why is that? Why do these things go together?
They're not related, right?
No, just people.
Okay.
If you're a Jeep person, you have a Life is Good thing on the back. See, look on their homepage, they have two dudes standing next to the back of a Jeep, and it's got a Life is Good tire cover on it.
The tire covers are they seem to be the thing that I see all the time.
We talked about WatchOS 10 and the dock and the double click thing, and now I'm just confused as to what this watch on my wrist actually does. So Darren wrote in to say, I think you guys are missing the boat when saying that by getting rid of the dock to show your favorite apps, Apple has taken away a quick way to get to your favorites. Instead, with the new grid view, one tap on the crown, that's not new. That list view has been there forever. But if you double click on it, you can have your favorites at the top.
No.
That doesn't seem to work. I can't drag them around. So Federico, do you know what's happening
This was
here?
that thing that Federico was telling us
Yeah,
about.
yes,
That at the top of the honeycomb, they just put your apps there.
So the
top of the honeycomb.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the honeycomb has been slightly tweaked, right? In WatchOS 10, it doesn't start in the center of the honeycomb anymore. It starts at the top, and all the icons are placed so that you can just scroll from top to bottom. You don't have to pan around like before.
Got it.
So the thinking is, you're missing your favorites. Just pin them to the top of the honeycomb, and in theory, this is the part I mentioned, and it was not working for me. In theory, WatchOS 10, when it launches, it should automatically migrate your dock favorites from WatchOS 9 into icons placed at the top of the honeycomb in WatchOS 10, right? So that should happen for people at some point in September. I still think that, okay, that's one way to go. But I still think that the dock was a better design, with the thumbnails.
Yes.
And it's bigger, and, you get more on screen than a bunch of tiny icons to choose from. So yeah, you can do this in WatchOS 10 if you want to, and the system will do that migration for you. I still feel like icons are not as good as the old dock view from WatchOS 9.
So I just switched to mine, and it has all 4 of the clock-related things next to each other: stopwatch, timer, world clock, and alarms. But I don't know what is what because all these icons look the same.
Yep, that's one of the problems.
Okay, I'm going to try this. I had turned off the honeycomb view years ago, so I think that's where I was confused. I'm going to give this another shot and see what happens.
There's zero way that this is better. Like, there is no way that this is better. Like,
Yeah, it's not better.
because here's the thing. I also don't want to use the honeycomb view. So now what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't want to do that because I don't like that UI. I think that is bad UI. I can never find what I'm looking for. Like, this is that thing, right? Like you just said about the clock icons. I know the word timer. I can never remember which one of the 4 clock icons is the timer just by looking at them, because they're like 4 orange clocks. This isn't helpful. And so, like, this is not better. It's so much worse. Like, just because they have an affordance, it's still a poor one.
And the double click is your most recent apps, which is kind of useful, but the dock was better. Okay, now I understand. I've been very confused about this for a week.
Okay.
We spoke about the portable HomePod Mini situation, and this came up in the Relay FM Slack, and our friend Marco pointed out that some Amazon Echo models are actually designed for battery stands out of the box. Like, they had one that had some sort of like pogo pin arrangement on the bottom, and it had a quarter 20, so you could like screw this particular Amazon Echo into a battery base made by another company, like from the beginning, designed for that. So that is pretty cool, and I wouldn't mind seeing Apple explore that a little bit. Like, are there ways to make a more portable HomePod product? I mean, because like the stand thing that you pointed out, like I've got one now too. Like, it's fine, but it would be cool if Apple sort of accounted this in the design of the product, I guess.
For sure. Here's an idea. MagSafe for the HomePod Mini.
That'd be sweet.
Just at the bottom, you attach it. They're never going to do it. I don't think it's the kind of product that Apple wants to make, but still it'd be pretty nice to have.
Oh, I forgot about the Echo with the mouth hole in it.
Oh, yeah.
The Echo Studio.
Remember I had them for like a week last fall, and then I returned them on Amazon. They were weird.
That doesn't sound like you.
Yeah, that's me. That'd be me. Trying things and returning them, yes.
Oh, I think they got a new version. It's got buttons on the top.
Huh.
Well, I mean, it's a thing.
They're just rearranging stuff. I feel like the Echo, okay, this is my theory that I just came up with.
Okay.
The Amazon Echo product line is kind of like the iPod Nano used to be. Like, they have to refresh it every year, but some years they don't know what to do. So they put a mouth hole in it, or they add buttons, or they take buttons away, that sort of thing.
Just to make it look different.
Maybe they'll make one that you can strap onto your wrist.
I think the mouth hole has a specific purpose. It's like, it's bass, right? It's like,
I think so.
yeah. But, I mean, they do weird ones. Like, now they have the Echo Pop. Have you seen this one?
What is the Echo Pop?
It is just really small, and it's in colors. So, like, I do agree with your theory. They just, like, can't stop making them. Like they just keep making them. It's just like it's got a slightly different shape. I don't really know what else. It's like cheaper, maybe. I don't know.
I totally missed the news of the existence of a HomePod Pop, of a Echo Pop.
I mean, it wouldn't be hard to miss because they have so many of them.
There's a lavender one.
Do you remember when they did the microwave with the Amazon voice assistant in it?
Did you guys know or remember that they make Echo sunglasses?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
They make audio sunglasses with Alexa inside.
Incredible.
I remember that.
They need to just chill. They're on the second generation of these.
Yeah. Who's buying them? Also,
I don't know.
No one.
no one is buying them, right?
They make 2 versions of earphones, like earbuds.
They made a second version of the Echo Auto, which I had no idea that was still a thing, like the car accessory. They're on version 2 of that now, apparently.
And a lot of new cars have the Amazon voice assistant built in now to like manage in-car stuff, which is pretty wild.
I still have, I have my one Echo in the living room, and I still use it on a regular basis, and I still cannot believe that Apple is not doing multiple languages for the HomePod. Like, I think it's wild that they can do multiple languages with the keyboard, and they have a actually very, very good multilingual keyboard. Google is doing multi-language assistants. Amazon is doing multi-language in Alexa, and Apple is not. I think it's wild that they're so behind on that particular front. That is literally the only reason why I'm forced to use an Echo. Otherwise, I would just, take it, give it to somebody else, give it to my mom, or sell it, or whatever, and put a HomePod there. Like, I would immediately do it, but I can't.
Saying about, this is a slight left turn, you said about the keyboard, and it made me remember a thing that I think I've noticed, and I just wondered if you'd noticed it or if you have any thoughts about it. So the new keyboard does the prediction, right? I really like it. Predicts all the next words for me.
Yeah.
It seems like it doesn't do this if you use swipe typing.
I don't use swipe typing.
This is an piece of information that I have noticed.
Interesting.
And I'm letting you know because, you're probably in the world where you're collecting pieces of information.
Huh.
I feel like when I'm swipe typing, it doesn't do any suggestions of words that are coming next. I've yet to see it, and I use it quite a lot. Not exclusively, like I use both like typing out words and also swipe typing words. And I have yet to see a like word suggestion, like one of those like grayed out word suggestions in swipe typing.
Very interesting. I'm saving a note for myself.
Something to
Keyboard
check out.
suggestions do not work with swipe typing.
This is live notes for the review.
What app did that go into?
Yeah, what app did that go into?
Notes for now. Yeah, I'm still in the note-taking phase. I haven't written anything yet, so very, very different schedule, very different vibe this summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Friend of the show, Dan Seifert from The Verge, wrote in to say that he really likes his D-brand leather skin for you, Stephen.
Yeah, Dan's a real leather daddy, it looks like.
Sure, okay, we're going with that.
I'm sure he wants you to just keep talking about that.
I'm sure Dan is really happy about that. Yeah, go for it.
So I think I'm going to try it on the next phone. I mean, I'll upgrade this fall, and I think I'll give this a shot then. So I'll report back, I guess, in the fall.
Very exciting.
We spoke last time about iOS 17 betas and battery health. We felt like some of us were seeing big drop-offs after installing the betas, or maybe because of cases or MagSafe charging. We asked for feedback. We got like bajillion responses. I read all of it, and it's all over the place. So a lot of people have dropped multiple percentage points in their battery health since installing the beta. That seems fast to me, so I wonder if there's something in iOS 17 that has changed the way that they factor that. Like, do you remember way back in the day, they're like, oh, the phone doesn't drop bars. Our algorithm was wrong, so they changed it. Maybe it's one of those type situations.
It could be. That's a very good point. Yeah.
Or is it another one of those battery gates? Are we going to find out that they've been underreporting battery health on us again? You know, we're going to be plunged back into that hellscape.
Can you imagine? Like, this feature is here because you got into trouble about batteries and you messed up the feature. I don't know.
I will say that I'm at 92% now, and I think I was at 93% last week, so that's a percentage point a week. So
By September, you're going to be at 85 just in time for a new phone. It's going exactly as planned.
But not everyone running the betas has seen this, so I don't know. Some people say they blame MagSafe or a case. Some people don't. Like I said, it was all over the place. But there are definitely people who have seen big drop-offs. So my gut feeling is like there's something either that's changed about this or it's a bug in 17. And these numbers aren't as bad as they look, but I can't say for sure.
Yeah, it feels like something is going on. And the battery life in these betas is not very good.
And the phones are hot all the time. Like, to me, this just feels like an open and closed situation, right? My phone is hot constantly.
Yes.
Like, I'm convinced that it's having an effect on it, but I'm not mad about it because I shouldn't have put the beta on if I wanted things to be normal. Right? Like, I feel like this is an agreement that we all come to. That like, if I'm going to do this, weird things are going to start happening. And maybe it's destroying my battery, but like, that's kind of the price I'm paying.
But the thing is, like, we're now at beta 4, and we're going to talk about it shortly. And usually by beta 4, the phone is not getting that warm. You know, at this point in the beta season, yes, the phones are still getting warm and the battery life is still not great. I wonder what's going on. I kind of...
Maybe I need to restore my phone. Maybe that's the problem.
No, we're not getting into that.
I got a ghost in the machine now. There's nothing I can do about it.
I kind of wonder if maybe some of the new machine learning stuff they're doing, you know, with Spot.
Turns out the keyboard is destroying the battery.
That could
It's too
be, right?
powerful.
That could be.
Could be.
Battery GPT.
Yes.
Every text you send is like 0.01% of your battery health. The noisier your group chat, it's just like you can just destroy your phone in a day.
I think, and honestly, I think beta 4 is worse than 3 so far in this regard. It's only been, a day? But my battery life yesterday was abysmal.
The keyboard is better just typing on the iPhone. There were a lot of keyboard-related bugs before. That part got better in beta 4. I don't think anything else did. And also, like... And I mean, this sort of speaks to... No, I'm going to say this later. So put a pin in this thought for later. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to come back to that. Real quick, I just want to invite you to help the Relay FM back office shape the co-founder quiz. We have a podcastathon coming up very soon. We're going to announce dates for that in a couple of weeks, but it's coming quickly. And Kathy and others are working on the annual quiz. So there is a Google form link in the show notes. If you have suggestions about, if you have suggestions for questions that should be in the quiz, go fill out that form. Go help them out. We would appreciate it.
What we're looking for here is esoteric trivia about Relay FM. That's what we're looking for. It's not.
Yes.
It's not like what's Steven's favorite color. It's like this is trivia about the history of the network usually. So that they're the kinds of questions. It describes this in a little bit more detail in the form.
This episode of Connected is brought to you by Vitally. Customer success teams today are facing a problem. How do they connect customer data back to their work? Vitally changes that. It's a new kind of customer success platform. It's an all-in-one collaborative workspace that combines customer data with all the capabilities you expect from today's project management and work platforms, because it's designed for today's customer success team. That's why Vitally operates with unparalleled efficiency, improves net revenue retention, and delivers best-in-class customer experiences. It's the solution for helping your customer success team to keep a better pulse on your customers, which maximizes productivity, visibility, and collaboration. You can boost your bottom line by driving more revenue per customer with Vitally. And if you take a qualified demo of Vitally, get a free pair of AirPods Pro. So if you're a customer success decision maker actively seeking CS solutions, working at a B2B software as a service company with 50 to 1,000 employees, and you're willing to explore changing customer success platforms if you already have one in place, you should schedule your call by visiting vitally.io/connected and get that free pair of AirPods Pro. The link is in the show notes, but it's vitally.io/connected for a free pair of AirPods Pro when you schedule a qualified meeting. Our thanks to Vitally for their support of the show and Relay FM.
So the pin that I saved before about iOS 17 Beta 4, which just came out as developer beta yesterday, I assume we're getting a public beta, well, maybe not today, but next week. I think they're still probably doing them a couple of days after or the week after. Anyway, my thought so far is that in previous years, Beta 3 and Beta 4 had more changes and additions to the original release from June than what we are seeing this year in iOS 17. And it does not surprise me given that Apple is so focused on the Vision Pro and Vision OS. So I think what we saw in June is pretty much what we're getting in September, probably even less because they're going to punt some features to later in the iOS 17 cycle. But basically the thought that I had was, I was expecting more changes, tweaks, additions, and we got very, very, very minimal stuff so far. And I'm good with it. I'm not complaining. I'm good with it. It's just a change that I noticed from previous years.
Like, there's stuff that's not in the betas yet, like being able to put stickers as tapbacks.
It's not going to be in 17.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's coming later this year, they said. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Why? What's the limitation there? That's very strange. I don't know. I must have missed that. I don't know how I missed that, but
yeah, I think I told you on the show and you didn't react. I was like, maybe he doesn't care.
Maybe I didn't understand what that meant. I don't know.
Yeah, they said that's coming later this year. So in theory, 17.1. Steven even said maybe they want to do like with emoji, and you just said nothing. Maybe you were thinking about something.
What show was this?
Unconnected.
No, I know the podcast. Was it when we did the live when we were like together?
No. It was last week or 2 weeks ago.
Maybe I was too busy thinking about pranks. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Everybody was like, Mike's gonna react to this news.
Everyone was waiting. I'm disappointed. I let everyone down.
Mike is gonna be so upset, and
I'm gonna write
nothing.
a public apology and screenshot it in Apple Notes.
You should write an apology for not being upset enough when the world was waiting for you to be upset. You did nothing.
I just stood by
when the world was waiting for your anger. You just stood silent. So
why is
anyway,
Mike not talking about this?
Yeah, literally, you've become the meme. So anyway, Beta 4. All right, 3 things I want to point out. The first one, the weird app picker menu, the giant one in the Messages app. Those icons that we've seen in iOS 17 Beta 1, 2, and 3, they were kind of strange, kind of a different style from the typical Apple iconography.
I think people need to get off their friggin' high horses about this.
Interesting.
Oh, it looks like Facebook. Like, just chill out. Facebook is used by like billions of people. Like, if they take some UI design from Facebook Messenger, that's not the worst thing in the world.
Look, all it took was to tell him that he didn't get upset enough.
Yeah, I know. Now I'm getting really upset. How dare you? But also, I do think there is a regression here, though, which I'm kind of mad about. So, like, in the previous one, the little photos thing shows you a preview of your last image, and now it's just the crappy photos icon. I want the image.
Counterpoint. I see what you mean, but for consistency and for being able to see at a glance, what's better? To have a preview of your latest photo that's always changing, or a photos icon that is always the same?
I mean, the word photos does a decent job of telling me that. But I know, I get what your point. I get your point. No, I get your point, but
I could go either way, and I kind of liked the idea, but I guess that's what Apple is thinking.
I can, I agree that, like, I can see both sides of that. They've chosen this one. At least it is visually consistent because none of the others change, right? Every time you open it.
Yeah.
But I do think it is very strange to me that people are so mad about this design and like refer to Facebook all the time. And it's like, it's just very like, I don't know what's so wrong about this UI anyway that makes people mad. Like it's just like a picker.
It's a bigger context menu than what we're used to seeing from Apple. The thing I will say, it is especially huge on the iPad. Like,
I haven't tried that. That
Take
sounds
it down
fun.
a notch, maybe. You tap on this thing, it's like, poof, just got this giant menu. It's like, okay, I get it. You want me to pick things from this menu. I also, on the iPhone, I think it's fun. I like the animation that they added in this beta. When you open and dismiss the menu, it sort of pops back into the plus button. I think that's very nicely done.
I do kind of wish though that it was a little bit more like Path, you know?
Yeah, dude. Yes.
That like it did. The thing that I don't like about it, and I would say this is way worse in light mode than dark mode, is like in dark mode, it doesn't really feel like it takes over your screen as much. I feel like it does. It's the same amount of information density as in light mode, but I think it is visually more appealing in dark mode than it is in light mode. But like, I don't think it needs to cover the entire screen in the way that it does. But just overall, like, I'm fine with the UI personally, and also it is significantly better than what it replaced. So I kind of just take your wins and losses. Like, we finally got rid of that ridiculous button that you had to press twice to get your images because you never pressed the right one. You know what I mean?
Also in iPadOS 17 Beta 4, we now have favicons for your favorites in the Safari favorites bar, which is an excellent change. You can, in my opinion at least, you can disable these in settings. I just like the fact that you now have a touch of color here and there in your Safari favorites. So now, at least for me, easier to find my favorites at a glance. And again, you can go into settings and turn off these icons if you don't want to see them in the Safari toolbar at the top of the screen.
Because these are in tabs, right? But they weren't in the
They
favorites.
were in tabs before, but they were not in favorites. Now you can have them in your favorites too. And lastly, the shortcuts widget. This, in theory, this was working for some people before, but for a lot of people, the shortcuts widget, especially on the iPad, it just never appeared. This XL version. Now there is an XL-sized, the huge one, basically, shortcuts widget for iPad. I think I'm going to have fun with this. Probably not as much as Matthew Cassinelli. I can already imagine Matthew.
He responded to your post saying, "I have once again gone off the deep end."
Yeah, I can only imagine like 20 home screens all made of XL shortcuts widgets.
So this is 16 actions, right? It looks like.
16?
Yeah, it's 4x4.
4x4. No, should be more than that, right?
Yeah, it is 4x4 because they're not square. They're the rectangular ones.
I thought it was more. Still, that's quite a... Yeah, it's 4x4. Okay.
It is excellent.
Sometimes I wonder why we why we put up with you, Steven. Yeah, there's that widget. Look, you even suggested it as a title. Your own joke.
Yeah.
You got to play the game, man.
Yeah, but like, if you suggest it as a title, that is you thinking nobody else will. So are you really that proud of your joke at that point?
So, closing thoughts so far on this beta season. Phones are getting hot. Batteries are not lasting as much.
Yeah.
iPad is going fine, I think. Would be my sort of conclusion so far. They fixed what they wanted to fix with Stage Manager. I'll take it. Could still be improved, yes, but we're not gonna get that this year. And I feel like it's gonna be a relatively simple, speaking of my state with the review, I had this feeling in June. I think it's gonna be a pretty easy and fun one. There were more challenging years for sure, and not even speaking of last year, but like, what was it, 2 or 3 years ago with Safari always changing? Now that was tough to handle.
Or even just years that had more features, right? They're just challenging because there's just like more to cover.
I think we said this last month. sort of grab bag style of a
Yeah.
release, and which is fine, totally fine with, and it's actually pretty fun. There's some really fun things, and I haven't played around with the airdrop features at all. I think I'm gonna convince Sylvia to just install the public beta at some point. But yeah, I think this should be a pretty easy one to handle.
Standby still rules.
Standby is great.
Standby rules is a fantastic feature.
And one final thing I'll say, and take this as you will. I have filed, I believe, around 20 feedback items. And I followed the unspoken, unwritten, I guess, rule of the feedback filer, which is I filed my feedbacks before beta 2. Everybody's like, oh, make sure you get your feedbacks in because it really matters. And, that was a good chunk of my time, to do that. And I did it because it's the right thing to do. Not a single one of those feedback items has been addressed. And so sometimes I wonder, does it even matter really to file those feedbacks in June and to rush to get them in? Does it even make a difference? Right? I'm not.
Well, the counterpoint is I got the reminders badge fixed last year, so it counts overdue and today. That was a feedback and admittedly a blog post.
Wait, wasn't that a feedback that you filed because you spoke about it on a show and someone told you to file the feedback?
I don't think someone told me to. I filed a feedback, we talked about it, and I wrote a blog post.
But was it in the first weeks after WWDC?
I think I did it at WWDC.
I don't know, man. I guess. Again, this year, they're doing all the Vision Pro stuff, and which we're going to talk about, the Vision Labs, the developer kits. Like, it isn't a different year for sure, but just as a piece of information, none of the 20 almost feedback items I've filed have gone addressed. And I don't know, I kind of feel like it was useless. That's how I'm feeling. And I hope that it wasn't, but it kind of feels like that.
Speaking of the Vision Pro, so they announced a bunch more information. So I think more details about things we knew were coming. So developer kits are coming soon. You can put in an application right now to get a developer kit. We'll put a link in the show notes to James Thompson. He, I believe James applied for one and took a screenshot of the terms, the things that you have to do, which are just incredible about what you're agreeing to. It's that nobody else in your life or at your work will be able to see this thing, and you'll keep it locked in a room. And if you go on holiday, you have to contact Apple so you can work out where you're supposed to put it. And there's a Pelican case, and you got to lock it in the Pelican case. It's just a whole thing. It's incredible. It's just a great thing to read. And Developer Labs, this is where you as a developer can go to an Apple building, campus somewhere, and take your app and try it out and have people from Apple look at it and guide you a little bit. They begin next week in London and Cupertino.
That's way faster than I thought it would be.
Yes. Yes, it's just they announced it on Monday, and I think the first one is next Monday. So if you were sitting around and waiting before getting work on your Vision Pro app, that was a bad idea.
Maybe
they're also doing something they're calling compatibility evaluations.
Yes,
that sounds like a Severance type of thing.
A little bit, yeah. It really does.
Please, we welcome you for your compatibility evaluation. Please step in.
Yes. So there's a checklist that you're supposed to do, and then you can submit an application for compatibility evaluation. So Apple will look at the app and evaluate it on Vision Pro, and then you'll get a evaluation back within a few weeks with anything that they have found. It's first come, first serve. So if you can't travel to one of these things and you don't get a developer kit, there is still a way for Apple to take a look at this. And I get the sense from reading this, it's going to be more than just what the App Store does. This feels like you're going to get logs back and screen captures back. So they really are going to spend some time with these, I hope. And I think it's a cool fallback if you can't make one of the other two things work for you.
Well, I expect there's a scale thing, right? For each developer kit, there's 10 places at a developer lab. For each developer lab, there's 10 compatibility evaluations. You know what I mean? Like they can do more of those than they can do with the other things. So even if you want to make it, but you don't get a spot, this is at least a way to send something to Apple and have somebody take a look at it and give you some guidance.
It feels collaborative in a sense.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. I'm glad they're doing it. And clearly Apple wants these apps to be as good as possible.
Yep.
The question is this the time that we announce our app for Vision OS?
1, 2, 3 Vision.
1, 2, 3 Vision.
The grand return of the 1, 2, 3 brand.
I mean, what would be the point, though? It's not like you could talk about it, though, right? You just have it.
Yeah, but, we'd have it.
Yeah. I'm really keen on, and I don't know how long it will take to get this information, is in what state is this hardware when it arrives at developers? Like, what's the operating system? Right? What has it got in it? You know what I mean? Like, can you use Safari?
Yeah.
Can you use Messages?
Does it actually have the full thing? Can you log in with your iCloud account and just use it?
Because the simulator is pretty full of things, right? Is it going to be running the simulator, or will it only allow you to run your application and any like dependencies that are needed for that, I'm really keen to find that information out. And I guess that's just going to be the case of
I don't think anyone could tell us.
Someone will. Someone might not tell us, but someone's going to tell someone, right? Like that's how these things always go. So, there are rules. People break the rules. Like within a week of the developer kits going out, we will get an understanding as to what's on them. The same as literally every single time this has happened in history, right? But yeah, I'm very keen to understand that. And I'm sure, I have no doubt that this is going to be a very complicated thing from Apple's perspective, because every developer will be requesting one of these, right? Why would you not? I do hope that Apple make some concessions for maybe some developers to be able to talk about their experiences a little bit, though. Mm-hmm. I'm going to use Underscore as the example here, right? Just because we know him, and Underscore does a great job of communicating his experiences of being a developer. But if he was able to get a DTK, or just a developer kit, there's no T in this one, right? There's nothing to transition from. A DK, a Donkey Kong. If he was to get a Donkey Kong, then I think it would benefit Apple for some developers to be able to talk about their experience of using it in the same way that they had people from the media go and try it, right? And talk about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you remember way back in the day that like the whole SDK was under an NDA?
Yeah.
So iOS developers couldn't even talk to each other. And it was so dumb, and they eventually got rid of it. I agree with you. This should be a thing that people can do.
You could word it in such a way of like, you can talk about what the software experience is like, but you can't talk about the hardware. Like, I think that would be fine, because it's kind of no different to the simulator, right? Like, in that way, like, yeah, I just think it would behoove them, if they want to encourage developers, to be able to at least have some developers who are like blessed in a way to be able to talk about their experience in public with the developer kit. But
yeah,
hey, I don't make the rules.
This episode of Connected is also brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform for building your brand and growing your business online. With Squarespace, you can stand out with a beautiful website, engage with your audience, and sell products, services, and even content. Squarespace has a new website design system called the Fluid Engine. You start with a best-in-class website template, and they also have like templated pages. So if you need a page with like a grid of images and text, you can start with that and then drop in your own content with a bunch of drag and drop tools for desktop and mobile. It's built in and ready to go on any new Squarespace site, and it really is fantastic. As is the online store. Like I just said, you can sell physical or digital products. They have all the tools you need there, all bundled in. And something else they do, you can have domains through Squarespace, but they also have partner programs. So say that you are building a website, you have your domain there, and you want to set up something like Google Workspace. Well, you can do that all from within Squarespace's tools. It makes it really easy to set these things up and kind of have everything all under one umbrella. I love building on Squarespace. It's so easy to manage your design and your content, and the asset library, the new asset library is really cool. And they also integrate with some stock image stuff. So you can search for a stock image, and you can either purchase the rights, or a lot of them, the rights come with a Squarespace account. It's really awesome to have all that under one place. I really love building on this platform. Check out squarespace.com/connected for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use the offer code CONNECTED to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain name. Once again, that's squarespace.com/connected and the code CONNECTED when you decide to sign up to get 10% off your first purchase and to show your support for the show. Our thanks to Squarespace for their support of Connected and Relay FM.
It's an exceptionally rare thing, in life or in business, that you get a second chance to make another big impression. Twitter made one massive impression and changed the way we communicate. Now X will go further, transforming the global town square. X is the future state of unlimited interactivity centered in audio, video, messaging, payments/banking, creating a global marketplace for ideas, goods, services, and opportunities. Powered by AI, X will connect us all in ways we're just beginning to imagine. For years, fans and critics alike have pushed Twitter to dream bigger, to innovate faster, and to fulfill our great potential. X will do that and more. We've already started to see X take shape over the past 8 months through our rapid feature launches, but we're just getting started. There's absolutely no limit to this transformation. X will be the platform that can deliver, well, everything. Elon Musk and I are looking forward to working with our teams and every single one of our partners to bring X to the world. Ex-CEO, that's funny to say that out loud. Ex-CEO, current ex-CEO, Linda Yaccarino, everybody. I have never heard so much baloney. You know what this feels like, Federico? I think you'll get this. Like, this feels like a monologue that someone in a Horizon game would say. Like, this sounds like a video game, like, monologue. None of this even sounds real.
This sounds like an NPC in Horizon giving you directions for a side quest.
But it's like some fake keynote. It sounds like someone's like putting, like, you know, there's Steve Jobsing it, right? Like, oh, we're gonna do like a black background and we're standing on a.
It's an exceptionally rare thing. It's so fake poetic. Like, you're literally talking about Twitter is now called with the letter X. Like, I don't even know where to begin with the stupidity of all of this.
They haven't gotten to make a second. Like, they've just decided that they're going to rebrand the company. It's not like this came to them.
It's not like, oh, we've been blessed by the gods of X to take upon the mantle of this huge mission. No. What you've done is you've taken Twitter and you've swapped a bird logo for a letter X. And now suddenly you're changing the world.
And you've halfway done it, right? You've only half actually done a rebrand, but this rebrand is now apparently meaning that you're going to become a payments and banking platform.
Sure. You want to give your money to Elon Musk, to see.
This is true. Like, he has done so many like ridiculous things, right? From a business perspective with this company. This is the biggest one, right? Like, I feel like this has got to take the cake of like the most ridiculous business decision that he has made as the owner of Twitter. It's like this doesn't make there is zero sense to this. This makes no sense. Like, why would you take like the one piece of value that Twitter actually had was its brand and just get rid of it for such a bad brand? Like, X is so bad. Like, it's not it's unbelievable. Truly,
it is
unbelievable.
It feels like a joke that's been taken too far. It feels like we are in a prank. I think.
Yes.
I think this is what I feel like. I feel like I'm watching this from a distance because I'm not using Twitter anymore. But whenever I hear these updates from Twitter, I just feel like it's some kind of performance art piece at this point. This is what it feels like to me. It feels like, hey, how far is he the richest man in the world? I don't even know. How far can a rich guy take this joke until people stop paying attention to him?
I mean, he's talked about this for a long time, going back to the acquisition phase of all of this. I think it's clear that he wants to take Twitter and use it as a base to like rebuild WeChat for the rest of the world.
Sure.
I mean that quote that Mike so wonderfully read, that sounds like the pitch for WeChat, right? It's like it's going to be social and payments and like everything all together.
It's a thing he can't do, like no matter what he wants to do, because
No.
I don't think anyone would realistically trust it, and no regulator would allow it. Like no American regulator is going to allow him to build like WeChat or like how WhatsApp is in India. Like that's what he's going for. Mm-hmm. That's not going to happen. It's just not. No one's going to allow this. Like, but it doesn't even matter if they did, because who would trust this? Who would trust this company with their money, like their actual money?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I want to get the X like debit card. Like, no, I'm not gonna. Like, who's gonna do this? Like, honestly, here's what I say: if you would, then good luck to you, right? Like,
Yeah.
you should give him your money. Like,
Best of
if
luck.
you out there would trust Elon Musk with your money in this way, then you should give it to him.
Best.
Yeah, I saw someone on Threads the other day. I forget who it was. If it was you, forgive me. But it was like, everybody get your bank account information ready for the X relaunch. It's like, oh no, don't do that.
It's incredible.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he thinks that he can build this on top of the social graph that is Twitter, but he's burned a lot of that social graph to the ground. And the people who are still there, who aren't like journalists or sports people, right? Just like regular people, some of them will be super into this, right? Because he does have fans and they'll be up for this. Other people, who are hanging out and giving him $8 a month or whatever. Mm-hmm. But you can't build what he called in a Twitter reply to somebody, the world's most valuable platform at this point with what's left of this thing. It's just bananas.
It's just like I struggle to follow the decision-making process, right?
There is none.
I can't... Like, I know you were very right to point it out, Stephen. He has been talking about this the entire time, right? And like, fine, if that's what you have ambitions of building. But why would you rebrand the company in such a haphazard way then? Right? Like, if you really wanted to go with X, right? Because I know that this has been like his thing forever, right? Like, he's always loved X. Like, fine, right? But why not actually just do it then? Like, why like crowdsource a logo and then like just change the logo? But like, is it called X or is it called Twitter? Like, can anyone actually answer that question? Like, I feel like I don't know. Like,
I think
what
he
is
says X.
Right, but it still says Twitter everywhere, and the app is still called Twitter. Like, so like, does Twitter part of X?
You can't rebrand an entire app on a Sunday with 4 employees. It takes some time. Give them a break.
But that, I know, I get but that is my point though, right? Of like, if this was his like plan, it wasn't a very well thought out plan.
No, it wasn't.
And like, I genuinely feel like at the moment, he is doing all of these things just to get people to log on to Twitter, right? Mm-hmm. Like, he just wants people to log on, so he just keeps doing things that are more and more extreme to get people to log on. Like, the rate limiting thing was that, because people wanted to log on to see what would happen to them, right? And then, like, now this is it. Like, oh, everyone wants to go check Elon Musk's Twitter account, like log in, because you have to log in to look at it, so you can see like at what point is he going to drop the logo, right? And so, like, how far does this go? Does he delete Twitter to get people to log on to Twitter? Like, where does this end?
It
like,
ends. It ends with what he's gonna do next. If you don't tweet in specific number of months, you're gonna get your account deleted automatically.
I think that yeah. You know what? That probably will happen. I think
It's gonna do that.
David in the Discord posted this. I saw it today. Like that, brands have the gold check mark To
Yeah.
keep that now and keep your like for them to not allow people to impersonate you, you have to spend $1,000 or more in ads a month.
Oh yeah, see, so there's already some kind of some kind of threat going on
Yes.
at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's totally gonna delete accounts from people who don't tweet. Like our accounts,
That's a really
our
good one.
accounts,
It's gonna
they're
go.
gonna go. They're just gonna go.
And let it. I don't care. Like I don't let it go. I don't care. Maybe I should just go delete it myself,
Oh yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
So I don't even give him the
You're
satisfaction.
not breaking up with me. I'm breaking up with you.
Yeah.
It's not me, it's you. They also took the @X handle.
Yeah.
It belonged to a photographer named Gene Wang, and they just took it.
They've done that forever, though, man. Like, that was a thing that was happening before Musk. Like, some brand would come along and they'd be like, oh, here you go.
Yeah, I mean, and if you had a short handle, like you would have problems all the time. The company, this is a quote from a TechCrunch article by Sarah Perez. In a letter, the company, formerly known as Twitter, thanked Wang for his loyalty and offered him a selection of X merchandise and a tour of X's HQ as a, quote, reflection of our appreciation.
What's the merchandise? Show me the merch, Elon. I want to see it.
Well, you know, he took all the woke t-shirts out of the office. Maybe they just rebranded those too. I just hope the tour gets past the police tape because the SFPD had to intervene because they closed the sidewalk and the street to take down the Twitter sign without city approval.
I think they didn't get all the way with that because of that. Like, I think it just says ER was the last
On
I'd
one
seen.
side, yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is also quite telling that it now says ER. Yeah, it's
If we were to rebrand the show with a letter, what letter would we pick?
I feel like connected as sort of a G vibe.
Interesting.
What, like
No,
fine.
no.
The funny thing is, you'll never know what I was referring to.
This episode of Connected is brought to you by Factor. Now that you're in the thick of summer, you might be looking for wholesome, convenient meals to support sunny, active days. Well, Factor is America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. It can help you fuel up fast with flavorful and nutritious ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track reaching your goals. We got a box of Factor meals in the mail just recently. We were super impressed with how they were packaged. Everything came safe and sound, and they're super easy to make. And critically, they don't take up a lot of space, so you're not overfilling your kitchen with these things. It's really awesome to have something super fast that come in handy in these busy summer days. With Factor, you can skip the extra trip to the grocery store. Their fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes. And you can treat yourself to more than 34 weekly restaurant quality options. And because we have Federico Viticci here, I'm going to let him name some of these meals in his fancy voice.
Bruschetta shrimp risotto, green goddess chicken, and grilled steakhouse filet mignon.
I would not have imagined that was a hard C. I've learned something important now. Bruschetta? Like that?
Bruschetta, yes.
Okay, great. I'm going to be fancy and more annoying to all of my English friends when I say it that way.
Plus, keep up your energy with Lunch to Go. Factor's effortless, wholesome meals like grain bowls and salad toppers, no microwave required. Factor offers options to fit a variety of lifestyles, including keto, calorie smart, vegan and veggie, and protein plus. Then select from more than 45 add-ons, including breakfast items like apple cinnamon pancakes, bacon and cheddar egg bites, and even smoothies. And you can rest assured that you're making a sustainable choice because Factor offset 100% of their delivery emissions to your door, along with sourcing renewable electricity and featuring sustainably sourced seafood. So head on over to factormeals.com/connected50. There you will get 50% off your first box by using the code connected50. That's code connected50 at factormeals.com/connected50 to get half off your first box. Our thanks to Factor for their support of the show and Relay FM. I made a purchase.
Okay.
I have here on my desk a set of brown Beats Studio Pros.
Yes.
Big Apple Buddy came through. By that, I meant I ordered them and then UPS brought them.
I mean, your Big Apple buddy was just Apple.
This is, my regular
It's
delivery
the
guy.
Apple.
If anything, the biggest Apple buddy.
Are they your buddy though?
I feel like sometimes they're just like, what are you doing with your life? You know? Anyways, here we are with some brown headphones on my desk. What do y'all want to know?
Why'd you get brown? Like, I just don't understand why you do that.
Let's start with the brown.
I feel like if a product offers brown, you should choose brown.
So I kind of feel like, and I was telling this to Sylvia today, I kind of feel like in recent years, I've become sort of a brown convert in terms of like the brown color for furniture, for clothes. Like it has grown on me a lot. I don't know if it's like a fashion thing or just with age, I started liking the color brown for more objects in my life.
It's probably a bit of both.
Probably. I gotta say, saw your picture, Steven. You sent us a selfie of you wearing the Beats Studio Pro. I kind of dig the color. I kind of like it. I think I could pull them off. You know, brown headphones.
I think brown headphones are cool. They are very much like other Beats that you may have used in the past, like still kind of plasticky.
Do they creak?
Not the nicest build quality.
I don't like the creaking. That's no good.
The brown in particular shows a lot of fingerprints, and I would imagine the other darker colors would too. I guess because it's kind of that like matte plastic. But the trade-off is they weigh a lot less than AirPods Max. So AirPods Max weigh 385 grams, and these weigh 260. So noticeably less. And you definitely feel that weight difference. Now, I haven't used AirPods Max in a long time, but my complaint was the weight. And these are definitely more comfortable than those, at least to me. They do have noise cancellation and transparency, and both are good, but I feel like both are kind of a step behind the AirPods Pro 2, which are my daily earbuds. Good, but not as great as those. And overall, like a lot of the features just kind of aren't as nice as some as the AirPods. Like they don't auto pause when you take them off. They have an on-off switch, so you kind of got to manage that. But you get USB-C, and if you use USB-C to like physically connect to something, you can have nice, high quality, lossless music. Of course, charging over USB-C is sweet, and they fold down into a case that's really pretty manageable in size, way better than the storage you get with the AirPods Max.
The on-off switch, I don't like the thought of that.
I go back and forth on that because it's nice that the AirPods Max are sort of like they automatically just work, but I'm also a bit of a control freak, and I know myself, and I know that being able to actually decide I'm turning them on or I'm turning them off, not a bad thing. Honestly, the one aspect that really sticks out for me is they don't pause when you take them off.
That would bug me.
That's probably the thing that will bug me the most, more than you have to use a power switch.
It kind of surprised me. I was listening to something, and then one of my kids came in my office, and I took them off. I was like, oh, they're still playing. Like I was like, it surprised me because I'm used to the AirPods, auto pausing. They've done it forever. So that feels like a bit of a miss. I don't know how complicated or cost and like how it would have impacted the cost to do that, but it's a really nice feature, and it makes these feel cheaper than they are, because these are still pretty pricey. But that's the biggest bummer to me, I think.
How do you adjust volume and stuff?
So on the left ear cup, the B artwork has that's a button, so you can press the top of it and it will get louder, and you can press the bottom of it and it will get quieter. I'm reaching for them, and it's like the old iPod click wheel. Like it actually kind of moves in. You can hear the click maybe like. So you can actually click the button, and that's nice that you can feel it. I think that works a bit better than some of the AirPods like you're sliding around or pinching or that sort of thing.
Well, I mean, because the AirPods Max has the crown, right? And
Oh,
that
yeah.
is-
Yeah.
That's really nice as like a volume adjustment, and also as like a button for play pause that you could use. That you click it for play pause, and then it has the secondary like side button looking thing for the ANC and transparency switch.
Yeah. And it's funny, the Vision Pro basically uses those same two controls, but for very different things. Yeah. It's got a digital crown and a button on that thing.
What does the button do?
It takes the memory photos of your kid's birthday party.
Oh yeah.
But just of your kid's birthday party.
It doesn't work otherwise. It's actually locked to just the birthdays of your children.
It has a scene recognition, unless it's a birthday party, and it's not
and
going to
it
work.
uses two-factor with your calendar to.
Yeah, to confirm. Yes.
So people in the Discord obviously want to know how they sound. They sound like Beats. There's a lot of low end. There's a lot of high end. There's not much in the middle.
Would you say they're pretty muddy or crunchy?
I would say it's velvety, but punchy and maybe a little spiky, but kind of rounded.
And how many X's does it have?
I would say it's full like 5X.
If you were to compare these headphones to an animal, which one would it be?
A hyena?
And how's the sound stage? By any chance?
I would say the soundstage is captivating, but ultimately artificial.
Can you feel the tannins when you listen to music?
Did it make you tired or what?
I fell out of my chair.
Yeah. After Thanksgiving dinner, would they make you fall asleep?
They would, but they look really good with like Thanksgiving-y, sort of decorations because of the brown.
The brown. Yeah.
Would you give these headphones to your best friend or your best enemy?
I think I'd give them to, just like a person I saw walking down the street.
But as a graduation present or a wedding present?
I would say graduation present. Kids like the bass.
So you're waiting in line at the DMV. Do you put this on or do you put on AirPods Pro?
I'd put on Vision Pro at the DMV, I think.
Okay.
That's the last place you want to be.
All right. But seriously, are they fun to listen to music to?
Yeah, they are. I mean,
Okay.
if you listen to the kind of music, all of my answers are very clear. I don't know why you need to circle back on this.
Yes. Some people don't understand audio, so you got to put it in different terms.
Yeah.
But in practical terms, yes.
Yeah, there's not a gold USB-C cable, so I would probably upgrade to a gold-plated cable.
Yep.
Clearly, you need that. No, I mean, if you listen to music that sounds good, punchy, with a bunch of low and highs, and it sounds great for sort of modern music like that. Now, if they are not like neutral reference headphones, you're going to listen to Apple Music Classical with, right? Like, if you were a Beats person before, I don't think this really changes that part of the equation. I just,
I don't know. I kind of feel like I would totally get along with somebody who's going to listen to Apple Music Classical wearing Beats.
I mean, they do lossless,
they are my kind of people.
Arguably, these are the best headphones that Apple produces for classical music, right? Because these are the only headphones that Apple sells that do lossless.
At the moment,
yeah,
yes.
you don't hear any. I don't know what the middle part of the orchestra is. It's a lot of timpani, drums, and flutes.
You just get drums and trumpets.
Yeah, the bassoon is totally lost in the soundstage.
You lose. I can't hear the bassoon in this mix. If you could just adjust the equalizer, would be good, please.
I still feel like I want these headphones.
There's no H chip in these at all, which is quite peculiar because previous Beats headphones.
Right. That's what does all the cool stuff that we want.
Yeah, and that's just weird because other Beats headphones have done that. And so, I like the fact that even Apple makes these kinds of weird considerations for whatever reason. It's just they're all making, it's all a bunch of trade-offs,
yeah.
right?
I will say, I think the reason these are such a big deal is because it really shows how bad of a value the AirPods Max are at this point in their lives.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends, right? Would you pay $200 for Digital Crown for the fact that they turn off on their own? For what else?
A really cool case.
Maybe you want a strong neck. I don't know.
Never skips neck day.
I mean, there is a difference in features, right? And I guess you can choose what's most important to you and style, right?
Yeah.
I don't think these are particularly stylish. I think AirPods Max have a style. I don't know if it's good or bad, but they have a look to them. And
Apple is fine with the look because if you had a bunch of tables with Beats over the last 8 years, like they all kind of look the same. And as Zach points out, they don't do like the inner device auto switching.
like, I'm gonna be completely honest, right? For me, if you put both of these together with their feature list, I would go AirPods Max because there's just enough things that are missing that I enjoy. That would annoy me. I wouldn't like the fact that I have to click a physical button on the side of these things.
Yeah.
I'm not going to like that as I'm moving around. I'm going to hear plastic creaking. I've used Beats before. I know what it's like, right? I would not like that it doesn't have the auto switching because I really like that a lot. I wouldn't like the fact that I'd have to turn them off. That would annoy me. There are enough things in there. I would still go AirPods Max, even though I know it's a worse deal, but I'm thinking about like my long-term enjoyment with this product, and I think I would get more long-term enjoyment out of the features and benefits that they have over the Beats.
Yeah.
But your mileage will vary, right?
Yeah, totally. And you can look at these and like see what's coming for AirPods Max, assuming they update them at some point. They'll move to USB-C. They'll do lossless over the cable. Like, I think all that's coming. It's just a matter of when they do it. Maybe I think they do it after the iPhone goes USB-C. So yeah, Beats Studio Pros. They're pretty good. That's the review. If you want to find links to stuff we spoke about this week, head on over to the website relay.fm/connected/460. Those links are also in your podcast player. You can also become a member and get Connected Pro, which is a longer ad-free version of the show each and every week. That is just $5 a month or $50 a year. You also get access to the Relay FM members Discord. You get access to a podcast feed that has all of the annual specials and interviews and a bunch of extra stuff we do throughout the year, and a really cool newsletter. So go check that out. If you want to find us online, you can find Federico's work at macstories.net, and he is on Mastodon as Vitici at macstories.net. Mike is the co-host of a bunch of other shows here on Relay FM, and he's the co-founder of Cortex Brand. You can follow him on Mastodon as iMike at mike.social.
Threads, baby. I'm on Threads. Come on.
He's also on Threads. Well, I don't know what to do because Federico's not, because he lives in the EU.
Yeah.
It's very confusing.
I know, but that's where I am. I'm not a Mac Stories either.
Okay. Well, so you can also follow Mike as iMike on Threads.
I wished Federico was on Threads, but there's nothing I can do about that right now.
You can find my writing at 512pixels.net, and I'm on Mac Power Users here on Relay FM every Sunday afternoon, and I'm ISMH86 on Threads. I'd like to thank our sponsors. They are Vitally, Squarespace, and Factor. Until next week, guys, say goodbye.
Arrivederci.
Bruschetta.
Bye, y'all.